When I first went to Lithia, I was granted 10 days of training, which is very, very awesome. I'm still grateful for that today. Okay, Robert Tucker gave me 10 full days of training. I got to hit the line on December 16th, 2001. Between December 16th and the end of the month, I sold 11 and a half cars and one unwound. My very first car deal unwound. I made $5,100. That was life-changing money for me. Okay, at that time, I still lived in a motel on Motel Drive. Anybody know where that's at? I lived in a motel on Motel Drive. My son was 3 years old. I had a kid when I was 17, and we lived on Motel Drive. And my goal was to get the fuck out of that motel. That was number one goal, get out of the motel. Second goal was to get a fucking decent car. I was driving a Toyota pickup that had a work bed on it, with a utility bed, because I bought it from a buy here, pay here on Belmont. It was a salvage truck that had a utility bed on it, but that's what he was willing to give me. So I'm like, yeah, that's the greatest fucking car I've ever seen. I'll drive a piece of shit. It leaked the water out of the radiator, so I had to put gallons of water in the bed of the truck so I could drive home, because by the time I got out of work and I went to my truck, it was drained. So I had to fill it up with water and then go home. When I would come to work, if the light was red, I'd have to make a right turn and make a U-turn and keep going, because if I sat at the red light, it'd overheat, blow up the truck. I parked the truck down the street at a place called Burlington Coat Factory because I didn't want anybody to see me put the water in there, because it was embarrassing. So I'm giving you guys, I'm giving you a visual of when I got into the car business, and I made $5,100 in 2 weeks, and I realized, holy fuck, this is my way out. This is gonna solve all my fucking problem. And then there was this group of guys that worked there, and I don't remember their names, but there was like 4 or 5 of them. There was like a little ringleader, and they were always in that huddle together. And then I remember they called me over. Hey, Curtis, come here. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You know, I hadn't been talking to anyone. I sold 11 cars in that 2 weeks. I'm just focused on selling cars because that's what I was told to do. Somebody trained me to do it, and then I got rewarded. I'm like, holy fuck. So I go over to this group of guys, and then he's like talking to me like he's a friend, and he's like, hey, man, he goes, you're really doing too much. You don't have to do all that. They pay us minimum wage plus overtime. He goes, you're gonna make like $3,500 just for being here, and you don't even gotta sell any cars, man. You don't have to work as hard as you're working. And I'm like, what the fuck is he going with here? What are we going with this? You know what I mean? Just relax, man. As long as you're selling 4 or 5 cars a month, you're fine, dude. And you're gonna get like $3,500 just for being here. And then it just triggered me, right? And I'm like, motherfucker, I go, we're not in the same position. I live in a fucking motel. I'm going home to a motel right now. First, I'm gonna go put water in that piece of shit truck so I could drive to my house, which is a fucking motel on Motel Drive. I'm like, we're not in the same fucking boat. Don't talk to me about this no more. And I just disengaged myself from right there. And that's something I always go back to. Always remember why I got in this car business, and that's helped me drive me through this whole thing and keep that drive there. People say, Curtis, how are you so driven all the time? Because I'm addicted to success. I want to know what I can actually achieve now. I want to know how far I can go. I don't have to live in a motel anymore. I started there, but I kept that chip on my shoulder. I kept that edge.